Hey guys, and welcome to this deck profile. Today we're taking a look at Melffy Spright. Pretty good list, I'd say. Personally, I in Denmark regional just placed top eight. Uh, I'd say it's probably my own fault. I made pretty big mistakes, so could have probably topped even better with the right pilot. Well, right into the deck. For the main engine, we are playing three Sprite Blue, three Jet, one red, one carrot. I've seen multiple people beginning to run two of red, but I still feel like it's too clunky. I only want to run one. For the spells, we're running three starter and one gamma burst, and of course we're also running the double cross. For side engines, we are running not one but two swap frogs, just to summon out the totally awesome, pretty good card I'd say myself. Running one caddy, one Melffy caddy, and one Melffy penny. Now except for the sprite, the I'd say main engine of the deck, we're running three nimble beaver and three nimble angler. And because I'm a budget peasant myself, I'm running two nimble mamunga. Anytime, any day, I'd run sunfish, still two of, over the mamunga. But sadly for the regional, didn't I haven't gotten my sunfish yet. So pretty much does the same. Uh, it's mostly when you already start one angler before your sprite sprint, and you're forced to summon out two nibble beavers. You'll always have another target. But of course, the sunfish are better for the mosquito OTK. And just to get the nimble angler out, we're also running one foolish burial. Now, for the rest of the deck, which is mostly going second card and hand traps, usually I see myself going second because I usually lose die rolls at my locals. So I decided for going second, main deck for going second. Um, so yeah, but mostly hand traps could have been run instead. So we're running the notorious 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Nibiru. Also, now for going more going second cards, I'm running 2 Triple Tactics Talents, a Feather Duster, a Change of Heart, and a Cold Buy. Pretty good cards. Going first and going second, I'd say. Now also Lightning Storm and immediately matched. And of course, to search all these cards out, depending on what you need, we're running 2 Triple Tactics Thrust. Usually, well, always going first. Ash Blossom and Triple Tactics Talent are pretty good cards alongside the Cold Buy. And more going second are stuff like Lightning Storm, Evenly, Dust, Change of Heart. But yeah, most of the cards have helped me out going first or second. For the extra deck, we're running one Merry Melffys and one Hell of the Arclight. These two synchro from the Melffys. I'll be showing that in the combo video. And to search out the Melffys, we're running one Melffy of the Forest. Pretty standard two materials, often two Nimble Beavers after the sprint. Put out Melf the Forest, detach one, search Caddy, and then you special summon Caddy during your end phase. When the normal summon or special summon, you just get the Caddy back to hand, search the Penny, and you can synchro them into mostly Herald, but also Merry Melffys is a great option. Then we are running one Downward, and of course for that, one Zeus. I'd consider running two Zeus now in the Castero matchup, but I didn't expect to see that much of Castero at my regional, so I thought one was enough to just go for it. We're running one Onibimaru Soul Sweeper, pretty good just banishing one card off the field. One Mosquito, one Mia Game or two, just the OTK on itself. Running two Gigantic, one for the going first combo, and just one more for in case we need to swing. One number 29 Mannequin Cat, pretty good card actually, I found out. I for a really long time couldn't for the life of me figure why people played it, but I now see, right, if you go first, right, and your opponent ashes one of your plays, you could just go into number 2 Mannequin Cat, detach one, special summon out the ash, and with the secondary effect of Mannequin Cat, special summon out from your deck, graveyard, or even hand if you have it in your hand, though I wouldn't recommend that. One carrot or one red. So it's pretty much just a free extender into a negate. And of course, we're running one toad. I would consider cutting it. The only reason not cutting it is one, I do adore the Totally Awesome. I've played it since I started recently, and it's just too near and dear to my heart to let it go. Also, it helps you unbreak your hand in the case that you should draw your Nimble Angler going first. And also for special summoning out the Totally Awesome, we have the Bujinki Ashima. Special summon out the Toad, dump one Toad to the graveyard, bounce Toad back to hand, link 2 into Ashima, and then you have Totally Awesome. Pretty easy combo, I'd say myself. We're running one Sprint Sprint, sorry. I definitely would consider running 2, especially in the Kastira matchup. If they banish it, you're mostly running out of gas going second. I'd consider cutting stuff like Mannequin Cat, or maybe even the next cards I'm gonna show you. I'm also playing one IP, and from IP we're going into the Magnite Crusader Avermax. Of course, you could also run the Appaloosa instead of this, or potentially an access code, though I don't see running access code alongside the IP would be worth anything, because you're mostly summoning it in the opponent's turn to like disrupt them, and usually just going for IP and sprint after the summons. For the side deck, I'm running one Resonator, just going third game going into time, summoning this, gaining just 1600 could be enough to win the game. I'm running my last Triple Taggers Talents just to have it. I actually haven't put it in my deck, so I would consider switching this out with something. I'm also running the Sprite Smashes. Pretty good if the opponent would have anything like a boss monster or Sprite Smashes for destroying anything non-targetable by the opponent. Really good flex option, especially since it's searchable by your Sprite. I'm running 3 Book of Eclipse. I would consider actually running it in main instead of something like Lightning Storm. Just a pretty good way to get rid of the opponent's board. I at least put it in defense, somewhat getting rid of the negates also. And then I'm running 2 of Dimensional Barrier, 2 of Imperm, 2 of Deck Devastation Virus, and 2 that Eradicator Epidemic Virus. And of course, the reason I'm running 2 of these is because I'm running one of Trap Tricks. So siding these in would almost feel like you're running 3. And you mostly are winning by round 3, so banishing one of these doesn't really mean anything. D-Barrier is especially good against Branded. I actually saw a lot of Branded Despia, especially. Imperm is, on its own, pretty good card. I wouldn't go anything against it. Deck Devastation Virus, I actually sat in quite a lot, especially against stuff like Sky Striker or Marinces. It would win me games if I saw those. Also, I expected it to win me against Trap Tricks and in the mirror matchup if I saw it. And the Epidemic Virus was mostly against back row heavy decks like Runic or Labyrinth. And getting into this is, I'd say, quite easy. Mostly you won't see your opponent running Nibiru in game 2 or 3. So it's just going into sprint first. Going to sprint first and overlaying it with Gigantic. Then Gigantic would be a Dark Monster with 3200, and you'd easily be able to go into your viruses and totally ruin your opponent's game plan. Alright, so for the main combos of the deck, you would most likely see normal summon. Any normal summon. It could be literally anything. Of course, seeing something like red, a good negates, would be a good start. But in this case, it could be literally any normal summon. Normal summon level 2. And then one extender. This could be blue. It could technically be Jet and then search a starter. Or it could just be the starter to summon out the blue. In the case that you draw Foolish, it's also just these two materials. But in this case, I'll be showing it with Nimble Momonga and Sprite Blue. So, like you'd expect, normal summon Momonga, special summoning out the blue. Blue will search for Jet. Jet will also be special summoned out because of its effect, of course. Jet will search us the double cross. Double cross will just stay in the hand for the rest of the combo. Then we'll overlay the Jet and the Momonga. We'll overlay into the Gigantic Sprite. Gigantic Sprite detach. Usually with just this hand and like hand traps or whatever, I search out our negates. In this case, I'll just search out the carrot. Now, since we're locked into level 2s, level link rank 2s to be exact, both us and the opponent, they won't be able to nip us. So this is the reason that we can just like full combo off of this. We'll link 2 into the Sprite Sprint. Sprint will throw Nimble Angler into the graveyard, and Nimble Angler will summon us 2 Nimble monsters. Usually I want to get rid of my Momongas in this case. Of course, you'd want to save your Sunfish if you have this in your deck and you think you're going to last longer in the game, just for the option to OTK with the Mosquito. But yeah, in this case, we're summoning out the Beaver and the 1 Momonga we have left in the deck. These 2 will then overlay into Melffy of the Forest. Melffy of the Forest will activate this effect, detach, and search us in the hand the caddy. And this is honestly the main board. It's, even though it looks pretty, well, nothing, I'd say it's pretty cool. The carry is spell trap negate. The sprint will let you detach from an XYZ monster when your opponent special summons monster to bounce it back. Also, of course, we're gonna set the double cross, and during the end phase, we're gonna special summon out the caddy. The Melffy of the Forest, when a Melffy monster is bounced back to hand, you'll be able to negate monster effect, but also the monster negated won't be able to attack. Of course, when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, I'd say the first one would be quite obvious. You'd be able to bounce back the caddy. The caddy will search out any beast monster. Of course, since we don't have the pinion hand, we'll search this. Of course, if we do have the pinion hand after our combo for some reason, we've drawn it already. Melffy Caddy can search something like the Beaver for an extend of next round, next play. And of course, also we have some disruption in our double cross, just stealing one of our opponent monsters either to our own side of the field or totally removing it from the field, just putting it under Melffy of the Forest, depending on what you're playing against. And now that we have pin in hand, during any point of the opponent's turn, usually immediately after they have the normal or special summon, we'll be able to activate Pinny's effect, special summoning it out, and immediately after being summoned, we synchro summon it using Melffy monsters in our hand. So we synchro it to level 4. Usually, we go for the Hell of the Arclight, Omninegate, usually not actually in that line, Omninegate, but also if your opponent chooses to discard something against maybe Dark World monsters or something like that, or if they put anything from the deck to the graveyard, it will be banished instead. So in the mirror matchup, just ruining the Sprite Sprint, or now I know Telements aren't really in the meta anymore, but Telements will also be pretty screwed by this card. But yeah, usually just anything where they have to discard, as I said before, Dark World, for example, gets totally screwed over by this card because it will just be banished instead and won't get any effects. Pretty strong board, off of just a normal summon and Sprite Blue. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or improvements to the deck list, please let me know down in the comments below. If you want the deck list in a written out format instead of me just showing you, there's down in the description a link to the YGO Pro list. But it's all for this time. Thank you for watching, you guys. See you next time. Bye.